Salute, family. Tank Commander Zulu back at you once again with a special Father's Day edition of the Real Man Movement. Today, let's talk about Father's Day. Is Father's Day really for every man who simply has a child? Let's talk about it here at the Real Man Movement with Tank Commander Zulu. Once again, I salute you. Let's get into it. Salute once again to all my subscribers, all those who watch the videos, and all those who give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated by the Tank Commander here at the Real Man Movement. And if you are not a subscriber, I invite you to become a subscriber of the channel. Because every time you subscribe and you get a friend to subscribe, the message about the Real Man Movement is enhanced, it's broadened, and it's more available to those who are in need of positive male enforcement. Today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the real men out there, to all the real fathers out there. I salute every man and every father on this Father's Day. Today we're going to talk about Father's Day. Is Father's Day really for every man who simply has a child? Well, here at the Real Man Movement, we're going to break this down. I'm going to hurt some feelings today. I'm going to tell you that now. But I'm also going to give some positive encouragement to men who have children who are not fathers, but need to understand what being a father is. Is Father's Day for every male who simply has children? No. It's not for every male who simply has children. When you tell a man Happy Father's Day, you should be talking to a man who has been taking care of his children to the best of his ability. That's who Father's Day is for. It's not for males who simply have children who do not take care of them. Now, I'm not trying to criticize a person who's been in broken relationships. Maybe they've dealt with a broken woman and it's made it hard or uncomfortable for them to be a father. And see, one of the things about being a father, a real father, is that you're gonna incorporate or you're gonna run into some hard situations, some uncomfortable times. And that's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to run into uncomfortable situations and remain the posture of a father. Doesn't matter about the woman. You can do what you can do. And at times it may be uncomfortable. At times it may seem unfair. But it does not stop you from being a father. Today is big back business. Working that back and work legs on the same day. Watch the big back business. Ooh, big back business, baby. No real man gives up on his children simply because he has a complicated relationship with the mother. That's not a reason for you to give up on your children or your attempt to be a father, the best father you can be. You see, Father's Day is for those real men who stand and represent what being a father should be and what it really is. those men, no matter what, who stand in uncomfortable situations and be a father to their children. No matter if they're with the woman or they're not with the woman, they remain to be the best father they can be to their children. It's unacceptable for any man to simply detach from his children because the situation is uncomfortable for him. You're not a man. You're not a real man. And I'm saying these things to spark a reaction from every man. We need to re-examine ourselves. Are you just a male who happens to have children? Well, I have a dog. He happens to have children as well, but he doesn't take care of any of them. I don't tell my dog Happy Father's Day, although he's got many puppies out there. I don't tell him Happy Father's Day. You know why? Because he's just a male who produced children. If you are a man who has simply produced children, Father's Day is not for you. Father's Day is for every man, and I salute you, every man out there who's put themselves in uncomfortable positions to take care of their children. Men who are in the home of their children, who were there to teach them how to ride a bike, who were there to teach them how to catch a football, who were there to teach them how to defend themselves physically, who were there to talk to them about drugs, who was there to talk to them about sex, who was there to talk to them about personal inferiorities they may have had and speak positive into their life. That's who Father's Day is for. And there's many good fathers out there. I salute once again every man, real man who is a real father. That's what today is about. Today is for you. It's not for the male who has several children but has not been a father to them. You paying little child support that the government made you pay, or they were going to take you to jail? That's not being a father. 90% of you, if you weren't made to pay that, you wouldn't even be paying it. Let's get that work in. Work. Half curls. There you go. Work. All work is good work. You work hard. Like I said, today I'm gonna upset some males, but I'm gonna represent and respect fathers. Happy Father's Day, fathers. It's for the men who keep their family together, who fight their own desires and their own temptations, who fight their lust for other things because they put their family first. It's more important to them to be in their family's life, in their sons and daughters' life, than to be with this woman, to be in that situation, to do things that will distract you or will tear you apart from your family. Today is for you. Today is for the man who resists temptations, for the man who said, I will not leave my family. I will do whatever I have to do to be a provider and a protector for my family. Happy Father's Day to you. This one's for you. Today is about that man who goes out and works hard as he can to make sure that his children and his family have the things he possibly didn't have. Today is for you. Happy Father's Day. Today is for the man who didn't really get along with the woman. They had, for whatever reasons, they had situations to where they could not be together. But no matter how uncomfortable or how bitter that woman may have become, that man continues to be a positive force in his children's life as much as he can. He doesn't have to go to court to be made to pay child support. He automatically pays child support. And not only does he pay child support, he gives extra. He gives anything he can for the betterment of his children. It doesn't make a difference about what the woman is doing. He's put himself in an uncomfortable situation because of his children. So he has to tolerate this woman who may be bitter, who may be broken. Whatever her situation may be, as a man, your responsibility is to those children. And you're doing everything you can do outside of just paying child support. The weakest thing any man can say, well, I pay child support, and if you think that's enough and you think you deserve a Father's Day, look, today's not for you. You pick another day. Y'all create another day for men like that. Today's not for you. Father's Day is not your day. It's for that man. You don't have to tell him to pay child support. He's willing to pay child support, even if it puts him in a financial situation where he can't have the things he wants. The betterment of the situation is that his children are being provided for. And if child support is not enough, he has an open arm to the needs and concerns of his children. If you're that kind of man, in a situation of separation where you're not in the house raising your child, today is for you. Salute. You're doing the best you can as a real man. Father's Day is for you. Father's Day is not for a male who will quickly tell you how many children he has. And if not all of them, 90% of them don't even speak to him. It's not for you if you are a man that has been around children, your children, so to speak, who don't have any kind of respect for you because you simply weren't there. You weren't there making the attempt to instill respect into those children. And now you're reaping what you sow. Today's not for you, buddy. Simply is not. As a real man, here at the Real Man Movement, we don't only tackle or pronounce the problem, but we also provide the solution. If you are a man who has not been a real father to your children, you need to become a real father to your children. How do I do that? Well, you take the first step. You apologize to those children for not being a real father to them. You let them know that you love them. Whatever stage of life they may be in, every man or woman wants the love from their father. These children that are bitter and mad and upset at their fathers, they don't want to be, but they are. Because the absence of a real man in the life of another individual, whether it's male or female, but particularly males, the absence of that real man is hurtful. It's damaging. It's degrading to another man or to another woman. Every female wants a father, a real man, a real father in their life. Not an abusive scoundrel. Not just a male who doesn't care really anything about her and is giving her the wrong representation of what a man should be. But because that young girl wants that love, she gets attracted to other men out there who prey upon her, use her, and disintegrate her and deteriorate her. Why? Because she never knew what a real father was, what a real man in the form of a protector and a nurturer, provider. They never understood what that was. Finishing things off with some preacher curls. Today we put in some work on the back, legs, and now we finishing up as usual with curls. Preacher curls. Real man movie. Today is not for that type of man. Today is about healing that type of man. If you are that type of man, you should be mad. I'm saying something to make you mad. I'm trying to invoke a reaction from you men who are not fathers, who think you are fathers. You simply have children. Like I said, my dog has children. Got quite a few children, but he is not a father. I do not go in my backyard and tell my dog, Happy Father's Day. Because he's not a father, but he's got children. Ask yourself that. Get mad. Get mad at what I'm saying. You know why you're mad? Because it's the truth. And one thing I stand on is the truth. I'll tell it to your face, just like I'm saying it to you in this camera. Be a real man. Be a real father to your children. Regardless of the situations between you and the mother, you be a real father to your children. Be instrumental in their life. From the smallest situations to the greatest situations, you should have some influence. When they fall into trouble and run into hard times, they should look to father for advice. Not always looking to mother. And I salute the women who stand in the gap because they just simply have weak men that they allowed in their life. These men are weak. So these women have to be strong. But you are a man. If you are a man, God made you to be strong. Not only physically, but to be strong in situations, in particularly concerning your children. And we've hurt a lot of children as men who aren't fathers, but just males. You've hurt a lot of children with your distance, with your lack of support, with your inability to try and connect with them, no matter how uncomfortable it may seem to you. One or two phone calls. Well, I tried to call, she won't do this. That's not no attempt. I don't care what it takes. To relay your message of love and concern to those children, you need to do it. Even if it's uncomfortable. That's what being a man is about. You don't deserve a happy Father's Day until you're able to do that. You don't deserve a happy Father's Day until you're willing to reconnect with your children. Apologize to those children for being an insufficient man, an insufficient father, an ineffective father. I hope this makes you mad. Mad enough to do something about it. In way of going and reconstructing your relationship with your children. Because you simply have children. You're not a father yet. So the day's not for you. There's no happy Father's Day to you today. It's an attempt to receive a happy Father's Day in the future, if God grants you life. That's what it's about today. You know, the relationship between a father and son, and I'm going to use a father and son, but the relationship is the same between a father and daughter, but in particularly, the relationship between a father and son is very strong. It has a lot of emotional attachments to it. In the Bible, in 2 Samuel, chapters 14 through 18, King David, and I talk about King David a lot because his story resembles the story of many, many men. But King David had a son named Absalom, who he had an estranged relationship with. It was a broken relationship, but it produced something inside of Absalom. He had a certain resentment towards his father because of the broken relationship between King David and Absalom. It got to the point to where Absalom, his son, created his own kingdom where he had soldiers who supported him, a part of Israel who supported him. And he became so popular. He became more popular than his father. And so what his desire was to turn the people against his father. And all of this is because of Absalom's estranged relationship with David, his father. All he wanted was his father's attention. All he wanted was his father's real love. It's not that his father didn't love him, but the actions that Absalom saw were not actions of love. So what happens? Absalom erects a kingdom where he has soldiers, and he turns the people against his father David, and eventually he goes into war with his army and David's army. David knows that he has to go to war against Absalom's army, although he doesn't approve of it. But one desire David had. He asked his soldiers, he told them, I understand we have to go into war, but please don't kill Absalom. Just capture him, but don't kill him. But what takes place in reality is that David's men knew that without killing Absalom, that Absalom would not stop. He would not stop his attack towards David's people and soldiers because of his hurt for his father, because of his disdain for his father. And the way the story goes, Joab, one of King David's soldiers, and some of the other men in the military along with Joab, they killed Absalom. They actually found him hanging from a tree from his head, because it was thick bush they were going in combat, and his hair got caught up in a tree, and he was hanging there helpless, couldn't get out. And King David's soldiers ran upon him. They ran up on him and found him in that position and ultimately killed him. When David got the news that his son, who he had this estranged relationship with, been through ups and downs with him, and the son even turned on him and went to war with him, it hurt him to the core. The Bible says he cried and he cried, and he wished that the death would have been him instead of his son Absalom. That's a beautiful story. It's a hard story, but it's a beautiful story that relates to men today and our relationships with our sons. It's so delicate that if we don't handle it the right way as real men, we can turn our sons against us. We can get mad at them, and we can almost turn against them, but deep down inside, we don't really want to see them hurt. It's a lack of understanding how to be a real father. In that instance, Absalom was devoid of a real connection with his father. And because of it, it produced resentment. It produced anger against his father. King David suffered very, very greatly because of the death of Absalom. He didn't want it to happen. But because they were in war, because they were in objection towards one another, although he didn't want it to happen, it happened. And this is the same thing I want to get out to all you men who are males and not being fathers. Just because you don't want something to happen between you and your son that you have that estranged relationship with, doesn't mean it won't happen. Be a real man today. Extend your love to that son that you've given up on, to that daughter you may have given up on. No matter what they've done, let them know that they're loved. Not only that they're loved, put yourself in an uncomfortable position and show them how much you love them. No matter how much they reject you, show them love. No matter how much they may turn their back, show them love. No matter how much they say, I don't want to hear nothing from him, he ain't been around my life, I don't need him, show him love. Don't let your emotions get in the way. Don't go to war with them. Like King David went to war with Absalom. And soon as he heard about Absalom's death, he fell apart. Consistency, hard work, dedication. Every day you come in, you gotta think like that. You gotta get in that mental frame. Look at the results of your work. Hard, clean work. Nothing else. Raw, clean power. Nothing else. Real man move. Happy Father's Day to all the real fathers. This day is not for every male who has children, but it is for every father who does the best they can to be a real father. And to be a real father, you got to be a real man. And remember, fear no man but God, baby. No man but God. Tank Commander Zulu, happy Father's Day. Signing out.